His name will be Hector, by the way, said adept little Luke, glancing up from his copy of the buff folder. Is that a warning or a divine ordinance? Perry asked from inside his spread hands, long after Luke had given up expecting a reply. In the age since Gale's departure, Perry had not moved from the table, neither lifting his head nor stirring from his place beside her empty chair. Where's Yvonne? Gone home, said Luke, back in his folder. Sent or gone? No answer. Is Hector your supreme leader? Well, let's say I'm B-list, he's A-list, penciling a mark. So Hector's your boss? Another way of putting it, and another way of not answering the question. Actually, Perry had to concede on all the evidence available so far, Luke was someone he could get along with. No high flyer, maybe. B-list, just as he had said of himself. A bit plummy, perhaps a bit public school, but a good man on a rope for all that. Has Hector been listening to us? I expect so. Watching us? Sometimes it's better just to listen, like a radio play. And after a pause, smashing girl, you're Gale. Been together long? 5 years? Wow. Why wow? Well, I suppose I feel a bit demon-like. Marry her quick. This was holy ground, and Perry considered telling him so, then forgave him. How long have you been doing this work? He asked Luke instead. 20 years, give or take. Home or abroad? Abroad mainly. Is it distorting? Come again? The work. Does it warp your mind? Are you aware of, déformation professionnelle? You mean am I a psycho? Nothing as drastic as that, no, just, how it affects you over the long term. Luke's head remained down, but his pencil had stopped roaming and there was challenge in his stillness. In the long term, he repeated, in studious puzzlement. In the long term, we'll all be dead, I imagine. I simply meant, how does it grab you, representing a country that can't pay its bills, Perry explained, aware too late that he was slipping out of his depth. Good intelligence being about the only thing that gets us a seat at the international top table these days, I read somewhere, he blundered on. Must be rather a strain on the people who have to provide it. That's all. Punching above one's weight, he added, in an unintentional reference to Luke's diminutive stature, which he immediately regretted. Their troubled exchange was interrupted by the shuffle of slow, soft footsteps like bedroom slippers along the ceiling before beginning a cautious descent of the basement stairs. As if to order, Luke stood up, strode over to a sideboard, picked up a tray of malt whiskey, mineral water, and 3 glasses, and set it on the table. The footsteps reached the bottom of the stairs. The door opened. Perry rose instinctively to his feet. A mutual inspection ensued. The 2 men were of equal height, which for both was unusual. Without his stoop, Hector might have been the taller. With his classic broad brow and flowing white hair tossed back in 2 untidy waves, he resembled to Perry's eye a head of college of the old dotty sort. He was in his mid-50s by Perry's guess, but dressed for eternity in a mangy brown sports coat with leather patches at the elbow and leather edges to the cuffs. The shapeless grey flannels could have been Perry's own. So could the battered hush-puppy shoes. The artless, horn-rimmed spectacles could have been rescued from Perry's father's attic box. Finally, but long after time, Hector spoke. Wilfred bloody Owen, he pronounced in a voice that contrived to be both vigorous and reverential. Edmund bloody Blunden, Siegfried bloody Sassoon, Robert bloody Graves, et al. What about them? The bewildered Perry asked before he had given himself time to think. Your fabulous fucking article about them in the London Review of Books last autumn. The sacrifice of brave men does not justify the pursuit of an unjust cause. P Makepeace scripts it. Bloody marvellous. Well, thank you, said Perry helplessly, and felt an idiot for not having made the connection fast enough. The silence returned while Hector continued his admiring inspection of his prize. Well, I'll tell you what you are, Mr. Perry Makepeace, sir, he asserted, as if he'd reached the conclusion they had both been waiting for. You're an absolute fucking hero, is what you are, seizing Perry's hand in a flaccid double grip and giving it a limp shake. And that's not smoke up your arse. We know what you think of us. Some of us think it too, and we're right. Trouble is, we're the only show in town. Government's a fuck-up, half the civil service is out to lunch, the Foreign Office is as much use as a wet dream, the country's stony broke, and the bankers are taking our money and giving us the finger. What are we supposed to do about it? Complain to Mummy or fix it?
He's seen my photograph. Listened to my description. In a minute, he'll stop smiling. I'm Dickie Roper, a lazy voice announced as the hand closed round Jonathan's and briefly owned it.